This is an intro to how to get started with Scratch. If you're in my class, you're in the right place. We're going to just kind of see what Scratch is, get signed up for it, and make our very first little 2D game. So when you go to Scratch, there's a few options. Or you can try it out without having to sign up for anything. You can just mess with it. You can see examples of what other people have done, or you can join, which you're going to have to join anyways, so go ahead and do so. I'm already signed up, so I'll just log in. So once you see this, this is the dashboard basically. Your profile will be here, all your stuff will be here, which is where all your projects will be, messages and so on. This week we're just going to start by pressing create, and I'll show you how to get started with one of the built-in tutorials. A quick kind of rundown of what's going on here. This is the editor for Scratch. Any game engine is going to have some sort of editor. They all look different. This one's really basic. Scratch is, again, a program developed by MIT that was meant to teach kids from K through 12 how to code by using games. So it's meant that even little kids can understand it, but it's deep enough that you can really make some complex, cool stuff. So this is your screen. This is what your game is actually going to be right here. Your stage. If you want to change the background, it's here. There's different options. Sprites are characters, enemies, or any other kind of interactive element in a game. It could just be a background drawing too, but usually that's in the background. So if you want new sprites, you can go here, and there's a huge library of them all. You can choose whatever you want to mess with, or you can click here and you'll be able to draw your own, or you can click here and you can upload a image that you already have saved. When you're looking at this, scripts are basically the same thing as code. In this case, it's visual kind of code, so it's these little blocks. You can see if I use this block, it says move 10 steps. In coding, it would be just written slightly different, but it would basically be the same thing, move 10 steps. When you click it, it executes the code. So you can see he moves like 10 pixels to the right. You can change that number here. If you wanted to put in like 50 steps, then he goes quite far. You could also do negative 50 steps. You'll see what all these really do just by doing an assignment, so I'll show you as I go. But briefly, looks will change how a character looks. You can switch between costumes, which I'll get into later. In this case, you could see the two different costumes. If you were to switch between it, it would look like a run. That's how you would pull that off. So you would do next costume. And if I were to, I'll just quickly kind of, don't be too worried about understanding every single thing. You will learn as you go. So I'll just show you events. Events are pretty cool. This one's pretty useful because it basically means when the game is started. So when the green flag is clicked, that means it starts. So when I click the flag, it'll change the costume, which makes him run. Another useful one is control. You can do things like wait, repeat. These are called loops. So if I were to do forever switch his costume, he will basically do a run cycle. So you can see. Maybe it's too fast. Then I might want to do something like wait a second, switch, wait a second, switch. As you can see, maybe that's too slow. So there you can play around with the different controls. These are called if-then statements. So if something happens, then something else happens. There are if-then-else statements. So if the guy reaches the finish line, then he wins. Else he loses. So that would be two different scenarios. We'll get into that more as we go along too. Sensing are a way for the different objects to interact with each other, and that's probably all you need to get started. So let me get started. What you're going to do is you can either do File New or just start a project. I'll just do File New. Then we're going to click this question mark at the right, kind of the top right area, and choose one of these assignments. These are tutorials step by step that you guys can follow at your own pace. And what I want you to turn into me is your final game that you create by following the tutorials. They're kind of listed from easy to hard. You can do more than one if you want. You can just do the easiest one, the hardest one. It's your call. There's also a how-to area, which if you need help, like, oh, I need help with games and I need help with keeping score, it'll teach you a little bit about that. There's also a block section, which will teach you more about what all the blocks do. So explore all that at your leisure, but what we're going to do for this week is choose one of these and complete it and turn that in. So I'll just show you race to the finish. If you want to get ambitious, do Pong or something, a catch game or something like that, or a virtual pet. Or you could do, once you think you've got it down, you can just make up your own. That's the goal. So for this one, we're just going to make it a race where you want our character to hit the finish line before the other character. And it's all step by step. So the first thing is change the background. I'm just going to choose the beach. And you'll see the background changes. You can draw, you can edit it if you want. I'm cool with that. This is where you can swap between backgrounds. Again, I'm fine. So next, I'm going to want to click the cat. You can choose a different sprite if you want, but I'm sticking with the cat. And I'm going to pull over this move 10 steps thing. I click it, you can see it works. And then I want to link this control to an actual key press, so I don't have to find this little icon and click it. So I'm going to do event, and then I'm going to use this one, which is a key control. Instead of spacebar, I'm going to do the right arrow. So when I click right, he goes right. Makes sense to me. Now I'm going to draw a finish line for him somewhere over here, which I'll just do by doing a new sprite. I'll paint a new sprite, and I'll actually just do it with a line. I'll make the line yellow and just kind of draw that straight down. You can hold shift to make it a straight line. And you can see it's there. It's not perfect. You can move it around or fix it if you want. I'm good with that. You can make the line fatter. I guess you have to do that beforehand. You can make it fatter if you want. And now just put it wherever you want. So I'm going to put mine here. Now I'm going to want to add the script on my cat. Make sure you're adding the scripts all to the cat. You can add scripts to everything, backgrounds, all the different sprites, but you want to keep it all with the cat for this one. So in this case, we're going to do, when it's pressed, move, we'll do 5 steps. And then we're going to do a conditional logic. If something happens, then something else happens. And what that is we're going to do if it's touching sprite 2, which is this right here. You can call it whatever you want. Then I'm going to have it say I made it. So that's under looks. Say, oh, I win. And make him, I will have it, this is basically when the game starts, then have him go here. You can see the coordinates when you're moving it around, so I want him to start at -190, -50. Or actually it'll pull in whatever you've already had in there. But I'll do 190, -50. So now he'll start at the beginning. And I'm going to have to add, so watch, when I press go, he starts there. And now when I press the right arrow, he moves. When he hits the sprite, I win. Okay, so we got that far. You guys can follow the rest yourself. Or actually, I'll do it real quick. Let's see. Now we're going to want to do another sprite. So I'm going to put somebody else in there, maybe a bat. I really don't care. Start him off over here and do kind of the same coding for him. actually this time you got to make sure that you have your bat selected instead of the cat, because each one needs their own code, right? They each need to know when they hit the line separately. So it's going to be the same thing. When the green flag is clicked, then, and these are all color coded, so if you're confused, they're all color coded. It shouldn't be too difficult. When the flag is clicked, move 5 steps. And then you can do this where, you can do it a few different ways. If you want to follow the tutorial exactly, that's fine. And I'll do it so the bat starts off here. Now wherever they wind up, when that's pressed, they'll reset. And then I'll follow it right now, and then I'll show you what I want to do instead. Okay, so to make this a 2-player game, say we have 2 people on one keyboard, I'll use spacebar for the bat. So when right is pressed, it's the cat. When spacebar is pressed, it's the bat. Make sense? And he'll move 5 steps, and then we're going to do the same thing. If he's touching, touching the sprite, which is the finish line. I should relabel it finish line, but I'm trying to be quick here. Then you can say, I win. Okay, so that makes enough sense. It's the same thing now. Pressing the right arrow, he runs. I press spacebar, he runs. Whoever wins first. Problem with this is you can't have 2 inputs at the same time. So you can't just hold it down, you have to keep tapping at it. To complete this, you can personalize it, customize it, add to it, follow what they say, add some sounds, stuff like that. Race against the computer, that's what I was going to do. So instead of the move 5 steps thing, I'll just do glide for 7 seconds to here. -1.1. So again, you can see your coordinates here. If you hold the mouse anywhere, it'll tell you what the coordinates are. And let's see how this works out, actually. Oh, I don't need the control anymore because he's going to be controlled by the computer. And then you connect all that and see what happens. So he's going. I got to tap my buttons as fast as I can. Except he's too fast for me. There, he won. So you can see with that simple kind of logic there, I've already got something of a game. To make it fair, I might want to extend this a bit. And then I might want to do things like when it's completed, then go to then reset, you know. I could do that if I want, but I think I'll leave it at that. So extrapolate upon that. You can go back to all tips here and choose another one to make. Pong's pretty cool. Hide and seek's alright. Catch game is cool. Virtual pet's pretty cool. Or if you just want to do something from scratch entirely, then go ahead and surprise me and blow my mind. Other than that, that's about it. Once you're done, you press share. And let's see. You can embed this. You can do all the different things. But what I want you to do is submit basically this. So press share and then go to this link here, which is also just this link up here, and submit that in Canvas to me. And that's the assignment for the week. So I'll kind of go over this again during our live conference, but that's the basics of getting up and running with Scratch and starting your first game project. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you next time.